to see.
This woman commented, she said, "Oof, if my husband remembered how to actually care for himself, things would be different. Clap, clap. My fault for taking all responsibility." Eyeballs, right? So I replied, I said, "I'm sure he would do just fine taking care of himself without you," which you'll be amazed what she replied back, which was, "Oh my God, cry, smiley face, cry, smiley face, sure." So you can see how she has very little value for her. I mean, can you imagine if he read this comment? Can you imagine if someone treated you like a child, didn't think you could take care of yourself? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's bad.
Which, here's the thing. Yeah. I agree with you. It's not okay.
Yeah.
And she is treating him like a kid, so he's acting like a kid who doesn't have responsibilities. Right. We have a kid. Right. The second we step in and start doing more things for her, the second she realizes, oh, I don't have to have the responsibility of this myself. Right. They'll do it for me. That's what's happening to him. That's a natural response. Right. But the other thing here too to think about, which I'm not saying is happening in this instance, but it sparked something in my mind, is the mama's boys who are used to their mom doing everything for them well into adulthood. Yeah. And then they end up marrying a woman who they expect to do everything for them. And some men seem like they genuinely can't take care of themselves. I don't think that's the majority at all. I want to say that. I don't think it's a majority. No. However, I do think that there are some men that are babied so much by their moms that when they get into relationships, they're looking for a similar person so that they don't have to do the things. Right. They can just allow woman to continue like he's been catered to his whole life doing those things and not having the responsibility. Because either he never learned at all because he didn't get the opportunity, or, you know, he's just enjoying the ride of the woman taking over and, you know, taking the responsibilities off of him.
And what's the one thing I say that men are lacking the most today?
Accountability.
Pride.
Pride in being a man.
That's it. You know, if you have pride as a man, you're not going to allow someone to treat you like a child because you have too much pride. You're going to pay for the meals. You're going to do the things that are, I have pride in myself as a man. I'm not going to be treated like a child. I'm going to take care of myself.
Right.
You know? So lacking pride is what, but on the other hand too, like you're saying, for a woman, what should she do in that situation? Let him sink.
Right.
Just like you gotta do as a parent.
That's hard for women, especially women who have gone out and they've, you know, been single and did the things that they needed to do. And then they get in a relationship and they're often trying to control the situation in the way that of doing things that she's always done. Right. And so they end up taking over a lot of things. And a man doesn't have to do those things for himself anymore. Right. But instead of it being like a healthy partnership where you're just taking over different sort of things, the woman is still in her masculine. Yeah. She's still trying to control the entire situation rather than you coming together as a couple and being like, okay, I'm going to take over the masculine responsibilities for you so you don't have to, and you're going to take over the feminine. Right. Right. But a woman comes in, and even if a man's been on his own and he knows how to take care of himself or whatever, she has a way of living that she was living. Right. So little things like you're not loading the dishwasher correctly. Right. It's like OCD womanness over here. Yeah. Which I get because I am also an OCD woman and I had to learn how to just like let it ride. And I think too, if you have kids, it's easier because you can't micromanage kids. You can't and I'm not comparing kids to men, but I'm just saying that like when kids come along, women learn easier to let go of control. Yeah. But they don't realize they're treating their husbands like kids. Right. But they're not letting the man take control because they're afraid that he won't do the things, right? So they don't give him an opportunity to do them.
Like he won't feed himself or clothe himself or wipe his butt. It's like, you know, that's why you got to think as a woman, sometimes you got to be like, look, if I wasn't here, would he just die? Would he not know where to go in the car? Would he? No, he would figure it out. Like he would survive. He's a human being. He did it before me. He would do it after me. So that's the thing, how you can kind of let go of control, is because I get it, but at the same time, you got to really think,
Well, I think
would this guy survive?
It's more
He
that
would.
men aren't doing it the way that they want.
Right,
Like
yeah.
the exact way, right? Because even we've talked about it at times when I've had my own controlling moments. It's like, I'm thinking of efficiency.
Right.
And I'm thinking of how can we do this with the path of least resistance.
Right.
And a lot of times it's because I had to learn and figure it out. And I figured out how to do a more efficient way, or, you know, let's clean up this so we don't have to clean up more later, sort of thing. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying. When you have kids, a lot of that goes out the door, because you can't teach a 2-year-old to clean up while they're making a mess.
Right. Yeah.
Like they just can't comprehend.
Right.
But men can comprehend, and it doesn't have to be done your exact way.
Right. Right.
Like if you tell your husband, can you do the dishes or something for me? I'm, you know, not feeling well. If he doesn't put the dishes in the dishwasher exactly how you want, that doesn't matter. They're getting clean. That's what matters.
Exactly.
And a lot of times women focus on those little minute details.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they do it too because they feel unloved from other aspects, like their emotional needs aren't being met. And so they're trying to find things to nitpick and to start a fight about.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And with that said, I think one of the things that you can do, like either partner can do, is to start doing their part. And it doesn't guarantee that you're going to fix your marriage or fix the other person. But in most situations, both people aren't doing it.
Right.
And so it only takes one person doing the right thing in many cases to fix the entire thing. And, you know, for example, if you're a husband and you start showing your wife unconditional love, you start being romantic, you start really treating her like the woman that is the love of your life, that you value, she's probably going to start acting a lot more respectful.
Right.
She's probably just going to naturally, she's probably going to stop nagging you. She's probably going to, you know, and if you're taking up your responsibility, if you start saying, you know, I'm take care of myself, take care of your responsibility, take things off her shoulder, take these masculine tasks off her shoulders, right? She's probably going to start acting more like you're the man, because you're acting like the man. And the same thing, if a woman who's been disrespecting her husband, if she starts writing him notes about how much she respects him, like kind of it says in the books, and starts acting in a very respectful way to him and tells him how much
she respects him.
and says, oh, why don't you, I'm not sure what to do in this situation. Could you give me some help? Could you help me? You're so wise, you know. If she starts saying stuff like that, the dude is going to be skipping on water. He's going to be walking on water and feel like you know, you think he's going to start acting more loving? Probably.
Well, what
right? So
women also need to realize too, with what you just said, which is in the Surrendered Wife book, is that if you put that on your man, right? Like if you give him the space and be like, he can figure this out, he might flounder at first because you've been babying him, basically, like against his will, but he hasn't had the responsibility. He has to get his footing again. But most men will step up to the plate once you put that responsibility on them to be the man. They will step up and figure it out. Granted, you have to like hold back that controllingness until you learn that you need to let it go for good. But like you said, if you start practicing letting go of that control, showing your husband that you respect him and allowing him to be the man, a lot of times men will step up to the plate and be the man that you need him to be.
Right.
And it'll be easier for you to respect him that way because he's handling more things. He's showing you he can do it. And also taking it off of your plate so that you can be more relaxed.
Right.
And that will naturally cause the respect to come back to how it was before.
Better than